Hey everybody, how y'all doing today? My name is Tay, and welcome back to my channel Inspire Me, where I talk about current or relatable topics from a godly perspective. And today's topic is called, Are you more like Peter than you realize? I thought about this based on my situation. If you read the whole gospel, whether it's Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, you're going to read where Jesus first picked out his disciples, and Peter was one of them. Now, Peter was very close to, all of the disciples was close, besides Judas, but Peter was like, mainly, I think he was like one of the main ones that God was close to, and he was down for Jesus, even when Jesus said he was gonna, have to die, be committed into the hands of sinners and this and that. Peter rebuked Jesus and saying, no, this is not gonna happen to you, this and that. And God had to rebuke Peter because it had to be done. He had to die for our sins. Jesus said unto Peter, like, before the crow, before the crow, I think 3 times you gonna deny me. And Peter was like, who God? And not me. He just felt that strongly for his love for God. But at that time, you have to look at it, Peter wasn't faced with persecution. Peter wasn't faced with different things to make him go against what he says. When Jesus was about to get persecuted and they remembered seeing Peter denied him. And then Peter had to remember, like, oh wow. But you gotta think about it, wasn't that the exact same Peter that before he was about to get persecuted, it was like down for Jesus and this and that, and saying, I won't deny your name. But when he felt he was going to get persecuted too, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to deny you now. So the thing I'm trying to say is, okay, with me, God told me to wait. God told me to get a home here where I said, okay, when I first moved here 2 years ago, okay, before I moved here, I put my name on a waiting list for 2 places. One was a 2-bedroom and then the other one was a 3. I said a 3 would be great, but either way, a 2 is still good. So I put my name on the list and praying that they called me, praying to God that they called me the whole time I was there. They never did. So lo and behold, I moved here. If I'm not mistaken, 2 months after I moved here, the people with the 2-bedroom, they called me and said, your name got chosen. So you can get the 2-bedroom. So I'm like, really? I'm thinking to myself, like, now if I would have got this offer way back then when I was there still, that's what I wanted. Like, glory be to God. But if I take it now, I can still move there. But I know with moving back there, it would come with toxicity and things that God delivered me from. That's just like with the story with Ruth and what's her name, Orpah. Even when they had to go back, if they would have went back, they would have went to their hometown. Pretty sure they would have knew all their family, their kinfolks, and people that they grew around. But they had to go back to serve false gods. So I know, even though I would have got blessed with the home, I would have went back to toxicity, and that's not what I wanted. I didn't have like close family there, and I already seen how the enemy would have like tried to line, and I would have been like back to square one, and I didn't want that. So I denied. I was like, oh, thank you for the opportunity, but yeah, I see the enemy. So lo and behold, I thought it was over with. These people called me back a month or 2 later after that. So early 2020 as well. There's actually people, I'm thinking it was the 3-bedroom, but then I'm like, wait a minute, this is a 2-bedroom again? Why y'all calling back? And these people still try to get me in there. So I'm like, God, I was a little tempted, but you got to realize God don't tempt you, but the enemy will. And I was like, wow, this offer is just so good. I'll be around my kids, and it's just perfect. But I knew that's not what God called me to, and I wanted to start home where I'm at right now. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna deny that and yeah, leave that alone. So lo and behold, very recently, like ever since my grandma passed, I've been going through this and that, and even before she passed, I was trying to get my place, but different things I'll talk about it probably later if Lord's will. But lo and behold, I've been dealing with a lot of stuff, and I was thinking a little bit to myself, like, man, maybe I should have took that offer, like, but lo and behold, I just crossed it out my mind, and I went to see my kids. So the number where I was from, they called me, but usually when I get those numbers, it's scam lightly. So it didn't say scam, but sometimes it don't say scam even though it's a scam. So I seen one of those numbers, so I'm like, okay. So I just answered it. Sometimes I answer scam calls, so I just answered it, and it was like, is this Shantae? And I'm like, yeah. So they're like, this is such and such. So then I'm like, huh? And then they repeated it, and then I listened. I'm like, wait a minute, this is the 3-bedroom that I applied for. So before they even got started, they never called me. So I was thinking, like, okay, if they called me, they must got my name on the list even prior, like way before this situation even happened. Like, if they ever do call me, like, will I take the offer, take the bait? And I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it, because I will have to go back there, and that's not what I want. Even though it's a 3-bedroom, but I can get a 3-bedroom down here and different things. But I was like, nah, I'm not gonna take that offer, even though it sounds good, but I'm not gonna take that offer. So like I said, lo and behold, they called me, and I was right there, because like I said, I was visiting my kids. So when they called, I'm like, God, this they called me to tell me my name on the, I got chosen, whatever like that. So when they said, or we just calling to check to make sure everything's right, accurate still, and if you still want to be on the list. And I was like, yeah, this and that. So I was like, what number am I? And they couldn't tell me all that, but lo and behold, that's all it was just a checkup call to make sure everything was okay. So I'm like, okay. So when I hung up, I was like, God, okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, before they called me, I was just praying to God. I was like, God, you say if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can look at it, where you look at a tree, and say, be removed and go into the sea. Now, if you look at it in a natural world, you can't get a tree to get out of this place, out the ground, and go move into a sea. Or even if a tree is like wibbly wobbly about to fall, the only thing it's gonna do is fall to the ground. It's not gonna get out of this place and go to a sea, to the water, whatever like that. So I'm like, if you say we gotta have faith like that, because if you look at it, we would think that's big faith, but no. God said if you have a faith as small as mustard seed, then you can say that. So I'm like, wow, God, then I'm gonna have big faith. Please bless me with big faith and believe in your word and this and that. And lo and behold, I got the phone call. So when I got the phone call, it's like all that went out the window, and I had to say, God, I'm so sorry, because I would have failed. If the people would have called, if them people would have told me, oh, your name got selected and you can get this place right now, I would have failed miserably. I would have took that offer and moved back, even though God didn't call me to that because of what I'm going through now. I was like, this is not worth it. I don't want to go through this. So I'll take that opportunity, but that's not what God called me to. Even though I don't see what he's doing right now, he does everything for a reason. So it's like, why when things looked good and you had a secure place, when you got those 2 offers way back then, why was it easily for you to say no and have faith? But now that you're not in a secure place and then people called you, why you easily just forgot about what you said, and now all of a sudden you taking the bait? So I was like, God, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me, because I was just praying to you, saying about, God, give me faith like that, big faith, and I failed miserably. So I want to make that correlation with Peter, because like I said, he was close to Jesus, and I'm pretty sure he meant what he said. He was not intended on denying Jesus, but time he was faced with persecution and different things like that, it's like it went down the drain. And time I'm faced with what I'm going through, it's like, okay, I'm gonna take this offer, but it's not the offer that God gave me. So like I said, God, please forgive me. And this message to anybody else who might be going through that. If God told you something and it doesn't make sense, or you don't have to see the provision right now, but he told you to do a certain thing, you have to do it. I know another offer might seem better or might seem good, you know, but if he didn't call you to that, then don't take that bait, because it might look good now, but like what that saying said, not all that glitters is gold or something like that, or the grass is not greener on the other side. So you have to think about that too. Like you can't always take the bait. And like I said, God, I'm so sorry. And also too, that same day I started listening to Sarah Jakes. It was like a small little sermon, and she was like, safer. I know she was talking about, you know, my situation too, because I felt like, yeah, this confirmation. But she was saying, we all know somebody, I'm not gonna say the name, but we all know somebody who can easily give out encouragement and uplift people and different things like that. But time they're faced with that exact same thing that they preach, it's like they forget about all what they said. They start crying, either complaining, being sad, mad. And then I thought about me, because I'm like that too. It's like when I'm talking to people, giving people inspiration and encouragement, it's like I'm just so bold and strong and don't give up. But time it come to me, it's like they go out the window and I feel like defenseless, defeated at that time. But like I said, it don't last long, and I thank God for that. But I wanted it to be to the point where it don't bother me at all. In the exact same way I can be encouraged when I give other people the gospel, it's the exact same way I want to be encouraged when different things come my way as well. So like I said, Lord, please forgive me. I want to have faith. Like, even though, you know, situations might not be the way I want it to, but I know you're gonna make a way. Just like even with this situation, yeah, I see him starting to make a way a little bit. So I'm just gotta say to him, like my life is just a big testimony out, a big testimony. So I'm just so grateful and I'm thankful. So yeah, y'all like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Y'all have a blessed day.